My name is Maya Chen. I'm 27 years old. I'm an emergency room nurse at Mercy General Hospital in San Diego, California. And tonight is the night a Navy SEAL made the biggest mistake of his career. When Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross, Navy SEAL Team 3, veteran of 6 deployments to the Middle East, was admitted to the ER at 10:15 p.m. with combat training injuries after a live-fire exercise gone wrong, he looked at me with contempt and said to the attending physician, "Get someone experienced. She looks out of place here." He saw me as a rookie nurse. Fragile. Asian. Too small. Too young. Incapable of handling real combat trauma. But when 2 armed men stormed the emergency room at 10:47 p.m. to assassinate a federal witness admitted to the ICU, executed the security guard, wounded 3 nurses, and advanced through the corridors shooting, everything changed. Because I'm not just a nurse out of place. I'm former U.S. Navy hospital corpsman with MARSOC, Marine Raiders, the Special Operations Unit of the United States Marine Corps. Call sign. Document. I served 4 years in combat zones in Afghanistan and Iraq as a combat medic embedded with Raiders, participated in 23 direct action missions, saved dozens of Marines under enemy fire, and was discharged 2 years ago for unauthorized conduct, after I disobeyed orders and performed a medical evacuation under heavy fire in Helmand Province, saving 5 wounded Marines, but losing my medical partner in the process. And now, seconds after being judged out of place by Lieutenant Commander Cross, I neutralized both shooters in 70 seconds using only medical equipment and hand-to-hand combat, sealed the emergency room, protected the patients, saved the federal witness, and proved why the Marine Raiders called me the most lethal medic they ever served alongside. My name is Maya Chen. Emergency room nurse. 18 months at Mercy General Hospital in San Diego, California. And I'm invisible. Nobody knows who I really am. Nobody asks questions. I'm just another nurse. Competent. Quiet. Professional. 5'3". 110 pounds. Asian American. I look harmless. Unthreatening. Out of place in a trauma center that treats military personnel, gang violence, and critical injuries. But that's exactly how I want it. Because I'm not here to be a hero. I'm here to forget. Forget the Marines. Forget MARSOC. Forget the Raiders. Forget the missions. Forget the faces of the men I couldn't save. Forget the one evacuation that ended my career and killed my partner. I'm Maya Chen now. Not document. Not the Navy hospital corpsman who spent 4 years embedded with Marine Special Operations Command conducting high-risk combat medical operations across Afghanistan and Iraq. Not the woman who was too aggressive, too willing to disobey orders, too determined to save lives regardless of cost. Just a nurse. Invisible. Trying to be normal. But normal doesn't last. Not for people like me. It was 10:15 p.m. on a Friday night in November. The ER was busy. Typical Friday night in San Diego. Car accidents. Assaults. Overdoses. Gunshot wounds. I was triaging a patient when the ambulance arrived. Paramedics wheeled in a stretcher. The patient was a man in his 30s. White. Muscular. Military haircut. Tactical gear. Blood soaking through his shirt. Shrapnel wounds. Burns. Combat injuries. Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross, the paramedic said. Navy SEAL Team 3. Training accident. Live-fire exercise. Explosion. Multiple shrapnel wounds. Second-degree burns. Vitals stable but declining. I moved immediately. Started assessment. Checked vitals. Examined wounds. Professional. Efficient. Fast. Lieutenant Commander Cross opened his eyes. Looked at me. His expression changed. Contempt. Dismissal. He turned to Dr. Richard Harmon, the attending physician. Doc, can you get someone experienced? She looks out of place here. I need someone who knows combat trauma. Dr. Harmon glanced at me. Uncomfortable. Nurse Chen is one of our best trauma nurses. She's highly qualified. She looks like she's 12. I need someone who's seen real combat injuries. Not some rookie. I didn't react. I'd heard it before. 1,000 times. The assumptions. The judgments. The dismissals. Small Asian woman. Must be inexperienced. Must be weak. Must be out of place. I kept working. Cleaned the wounds. Administered pain medication. Prepared for suturing. Professional. Invisible. Lieutenant Commander Cross kept talking. To Dr. Harmon. To the other nurses. About me. Like I wasn't there. I've been in combat for 12 years. 6 deployments. I've seen medics work under fire. Real medics. Corpsmen. Not some ER nurse who looks like she just graduated nursing school. I finished suturing. Bandaged the wounds. Checked vitals again. Stable. You're all set, Lieutenant Commander. The doctor will discharge you in an hour. He didn't thank me. Didn't acknowledge me. Just turned away. I walked out of the room. Took a breath. Let it go. It didn't matter. I wasn't here for recognition. I was here to do my job. Save lives. Stay invisible. But 32 minutes later, everything changed. At 10:47 p.m., I heard the gunshots. 2 suppressed shots. Then screaming. I dropped the chart I was holding and ran toward the sound. The main entrance. Security checkpoint. The security guard, Mike Torres, former Army, good man, 2 kids, was on the floor. Shot twice in the chest. Dead. And moving past him, 2 men. Both white. Both in their 30s. Both wearing dark clothes. Both armed with suppressed handguns. Professional. Military movements. Tactical. Assassins. They were moving through the ER. Methodical. Scanning. Searching. Hunting. I ducked behind a corner. Assessed. 2 shooters. Both armed. Suppressed weapons. Coordinated movements. Professional hit squad. Then I heard them talking. Target is in ICU. Room 304. Federal witness. Eliminate him. Eliminate anyone who gets in the way. Federal witness. Room 304. That was Marcus Reyes. Former cartel enforcer. Turned state's witness. Testifying against the Sinaloa cartel next week. Someone wanted him dead. And they'd sent professionals. I had seconds to act. The shooters were moving toward the ICU. Patients were in danger. Staff were in danger. I could wait for the police. Call for backup. Follow protocol. Or I could act. I felt the switch flip. The same one that got me discharged. The same one that made me document. I moved. I went to the supply room. Grabbed what I needed. Scalpel. Tourniquet. Defibrillator paddles. Alcohol spray. Improvised weapons. Then I moved through the ER corridors. Silent. Invisible. Tracking the shooters. They were advancing toward the ICU. Methodical. Professional. Checking rooms. Eliminating witnesses. I saw 3 bodies. Nurses. Staff. Executed. Cold. Efficient. These weren't amateurs. These were professionals. Cartel sicarios. Trained. Lethal. I started with the first shooter. He was alone. Checking a supply closet. Back to me. Vulnerable. I approached from behind. Silent. Applied a rear naked choke with the tourniquet. He tried to struggle. Couldn't. 7 seconds. He went limp. I lowered him to the floor. Took his suppressed Glock 19. Checked the magazine. Loaded. Ready. 1 down. 1 remaining. The second shooter realized something was wrong. Stopped advancing. Started searching. Professional. Disciplined. He keyed his radio. Alvarez is down. Someone's here. Professional. Moving to eliminate. He moved. Fast. Weapon raised. Scanning. I couldn't approach without being detected. I needed a distraction. I triggered a medical alarm in an adjacent room. The shooter moved toward it. Cautious. Weapon raised. I flanked him. Came up from the side. Threw the alcohol spray in his face. He screamed. Blinded. I struck. Fast. Brutal. Disarmed him. Swept his legs. He fell. I pressed the defibrillator paddles against his chest. Shocked him. He convulsed. Unconscious. 2 down. 0 remaining. I keyed the hospital intercom. This is Nurse Chen. Code Silver. Active shooter situation neutralized. 2 suspects in custody. Security, lock down the hospital. Police, we need immediate response. Alarms blared. Lockdown initiated. Staff moved patients to secure locations. I checked on the federal witness. Marcus Reyes. Room 304. ICU. He was awake. Terrified. They came for me, he whispered. I know. But they're down. You're safe. Who are you? Just a nurse. No. You're not just a nurse. I saw what you did. You moved like military. Like special operations. I didn't respond. Police arrived 5 minutes later. SDPD. SWAT. FBI. They secured the scene. Took the 2 shooters into custody. Evacuated Marcus Reyes to a federal safe house. Then a voice behind me. You. I turned. Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross. Standing. Staring. Shocked. You just neutralized 2 armed shooters. Alone. In 70 seconds. Using medical equipment. I did what needed to be done. Who are you? I'm the nurse you said was out of place. He stared at me. Really looked at me. You're military. I can see it now. The way you move. The way you assess. The way you act under pressure. What branch? Navy. What rate? Hospital corpsman. What unit? I hesitated. MARSOC. Marine Raiders. He froze. You're a corpsman with the Raiders? You were embedded with Marine Special Operations. For 4 years. Afghanistan. Iraq. 23 direct action missions. That's one of the most dangerous jobs in the military. Corpsmen with Raiders see more combat than most infantry Marines. I know. I lived it. Why didn't you say anything? Because I'm not here to be recognized. I'm here to do my job. Save lives. Stay invisible. You saved my life tonight. And everyone else's. I just did what I was trained to do. He extended his hand. I'm sorry. I judged you. I was wrong. You're not out of place. You're exactly where you belong. I shook his hand. Apology accepted. But I knew. This wasn't over. The cartel had sent 2 sicarios. They'd failed. They'd send more. And I'd be ready. Because that's who I am. Document guardian. Protector. And I don't let good people die on my watch. The FBI arrived an hour later. Special Agent Laura Mendez. 40s. Sharp. Professional. Nurse Chin. I'm Special Agent Mendez. FBI. I need to ask you some questions. Of course. You neutralized 2 armed cartel sicarios. Alone. Using improvised weapons and hand-to-hand combat. That's not standard nursing training. I have prior military experience. I know. I pulled your file. Navy Hospital Corpsman. MARSOC. Marine Raiders. 4 years embedded with special operations. 23 combat missions. Discharged 2 years ago for unauthorized conduct. That's correct. What happened? I hesitated. I disobeyed orders. Performed a medical evacuation under heavy fire. Saved 5 Marines. Lost my partner. Your partner was Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class Daniel Ortega. Kia. Helmand Province. Afghanistan. 2 years ago. Yes. You went back for him. Against orders. Under heavy Taliban fire. You tried to save him. I did save him. For 3 minutes. Then he died in my arms. Agent Mendez was silent. Then she said, the cartel will send more sicarios. Marcus Reyes is a high-value target. They won't stop until he's dead. Then we protect him. We will. But we need your help. How? We need someone who can think like a combat medic. Someone who understands tactics. Someone who can protect Reyes while he's in federal custody until the trial. You want me to be his bodyguard? We want you to be his medical security. You'll be embedded with the FBI protection detail. Provide medical support. And tactical support if needed. I'm a nurse. Not a federal agent. You're a former MARSOC corpsman. You're more qualified than half my agents. I thought about it. When? Now. We're moving Reyes to a secure federal facility tonight. We need you with us. I looked at Lieutenant Commander Cross. He nodded. Do it. You're the best person for the job. I turned back to Agent Mendez. I'm in. I went home. Packed my gear. Medical kit. Tactical clothing. And something I'd kept hidden for 2 years. My old MARSOC combat medical bag. Inside, advanced trauma supplies. Tourniquets. Hemostatic gauze. Chest seals. Surgical tools. Everything I'd used in combat. I also kept something else. A Seiji Sauer M18. The standard issue sidearm for MARSOC. I'd kept it. Just in case. I loaded the M18. Holstered it. And headed to the federal facility. The facility was a secure FBI safe house in the outskirts of San Diego. Fortified. Armed guards. Surveillance. Professional. Marcus Reyes was inside. Guarded by 6 FBI agents. I met with Agent Mendez. Here's the situation. Reyes testifies in 4 days. Until then, he stays here. Under protection. We have intelligence that the cartel is planning another attempt. Possibly within 48 hours. What's the threat assessment? Hi. The Sinaloa cartel has unlimited resources. They'll send their best. Sicarios. Assassins. Maybe even a tactical team. What do you need from me? Stay with Reyes. Provide medical support. And if things go bad, you know what to do. I nodded. I spent the next 48 hours with Marcus Reyes. He was terrified. Paranoid. Constantly looking over his shoulder. They're going to kill me, he said. No, they're not. Not on my watch. You don't understand. The cartel doesn't forgive. They don't forget. I betrayed them. They'll send everyone. Then I'll stop everyone. He looked at me. You really believe that? I've stopped worse. Who are you? Someone who doesn't let good people die. He smiled. Weak. Grateful. Thank you. That night, at 2:37 a.m., the attack came. I heard the explosion first. Breaching charge. Front gate. Then gunfire. Automatic weapons. AR-15s. AK-47s. The cartel had sent a tactical team. I keyed my radio. This is document. We're under attack. Cartel tactical team. Heavy weapons. All agents. Defensive positions. Protect the witness. I grabbed my M18. Moved to Marcus Reyes. Stay down. Stay quiet. I'll protect you. They're here. They're going to kill me. Not if I kill them first. I moved to the window. Assessed. 6 shooters. All armed with automatic rifles. Tactical gear. Body armor. Professional. Cartel special operations. This wasn't a hit squad. This was a military assault. The FBI agents returned fire. Professional. Disciplined. But they were outgunned. The cartel shooters advanced. Methodical. Coordinated. Suppressing fire. Flanking maneuvers. Military tactics. I needed to even the odds. I grabbed a flashbang from the FBI tactical kit. Threw it out the window. Bang. Blinding light. Disorienting sound. The cartel shooters faltered. I moved. Fast. Exited through the side door. Flanked them. Came up behind the first shooter. Double tap. He dropped. 5 remaining. The second shooter turned. Raised his rifle. I was faster. 3 shots. Center mass. He fell. 4 remaining. The remaining shooters realized they were being flanked. Turned. Opened fire. I took cover. Returned fire. We exchanged shots for 30 seconds. Then I heard it. A scream. One of the FBI agents was hit. Down. Bleeding. I moved. Fast. Ran to him. Dragged him to cover. Assessed. Gunshot wound. Femoral artery. Massive bleeding. He had minutes. I applied a tourniquet. Tightened it. Stopped the bleeding. Applied hemostatic gauze. Pressure. He gasped. I'm dying. No, you're not. I've got you. Stay with me. I stabilized him. Then returned to the fight. The cartel shooters were advancing. 3 remaining. I needed to stop them. I grabbed a smoke grenade. Threw it. Smoke filled the area. Visibility 0. I moved through the smoke. Silent. Invisible. Lethal. I found the third shooter. Disoriented. Searching. I struck. Fast. Brutal. Disarmed him. Broke his arm. He screamed. I knocked him unconscious. 2 remaining. The last 2 shooters realized they were losing. Started retreating. I pursued. Caught the 4th shooter. Hand-to-hand combat. He was good. Trained. Cartel special operations. We fought. Fast. Brutal. He struck at me. I blocked. Countered. Swept his legs. He fell. I disarmed him. Flex cuffed him. 1 remaining. The last shooter was running. Trying to escape. I raised my M18. Aimed. Fired. 1 shot. He dropped. 6 down. 0 remaining. I keyed my radio. This is document threats neutralized. 6 cartel shooters down. 1 FBI agent wounded. Stable. Witness secure. Agent Mendez responded. Copy that. Document outstanding work. Backup is en route. I went back to Marcus Reyes. He was shaking. Terrified. But alive. You saved me, he whispered. I told you. Not on my watch. Who are you? I'm Document. And I don't lose patience. The FBI secured the scene. Took the surviving cartel shooters into custody. Evacuated the wounded agent to the hospital. He survived. Because of me. Agent Mendez approached. You just stopped a cartel tactical assault. Alone. Neutralized 6 shooters. Saved an agent. And protected the witness. That's incredible. I did what I was trained to do. You did what an entire FBI tactical team couldn't. You're a legend, Document. I'm just a nurse. No. You're a warrior. And we need more people like you. 4 days later, Marcos Reyes testified. The trial was a success. The cartel leadership was convicted. Sentenced to life in prison. Justice was served. And Marcos Reyes was placed in witness protection. Safe. Alive. Because of me. Agent Mendez offered me a position. Join the FBI. Hostage rescue team. We need someone with your skills. Combat medic. Tactical operator. You'd be perfect. I'm honored. But I'm a nurse. That's where I belong. You're more than a nurse. You're a protector. A guardian. A warrior. I'm all of those things. And I can be all of them as a nurse. She smiled. If you ever change your mind, call me. I went back to Mercy General Hospital. Back to my life. Emergency room nurse. Invisible. Quiet. Professional. But Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross didn't forget. He came back to the hospital 2 weeks later. Not as a patient. As a visitor. I wanted to thank you, he said. For what? For saving my life. For proving me wrong. For showing me that I was an idiot. I smiled. You weren't an idiot. You just made assumptions. I judged you. I was wrong. And I'm sorry. Apology accepted. I also wanted to ask you something. The Navy is looking for experienced corpsmen to train the next generation of combat medics. We need instructors. People who've been in combat. People who know what it's like. Would you be interested? I'm not active duty anymore. You don't have to be. This is a civilian contractor position. You'd train Navy corpsmen and Marine corpsmen. Teach them combat medicine. Tactical medicine. How to save lives under fire. I thought about it. I'd be helping the next generation. Exactly. Passing on your knowledge. Your experience. Your skills. When would I start? Whenever you're ready. I smiled. I'm ready. I spent the next year training the next generation of combat medics. Navy corpsmen. Marine corpsmen. Teaching them everything I knew. Tactical medicine. Combat trauma care. How to save lives under fire. How to stay calm under pressure. How to be document. And I loved it. Because I was making a difference. Saving lives. Not just in the ER. But on the battlefield. Preparing the next generation to do what I did. Protect. Save. Serve. One day, one of my students approached me. A young corpsman. 22 years old. Eager. Determined. Doc, can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you become a corpsman? Why did you choose this? I thought about it. Because I wanted to save lives. I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be there when people needed me most. Even if it meant putting yourself in danger, especially then. Because that's when it matters most. He nodded. I want to be like you. I want to be document. I smiled. Then be better. Be stronger. Be smarter. And never forget why you're doing this. To save lives. Exactly. He deployed 6 months later. Afghanistan. Embedded with Marine raiders. And he saved 12 Marines in his first month. Because of what I taught him. Because I passed on my knowledge. My skills. My legacy. And that's what mattered. 1 year later, I received a message. From the Commandant of the Marine Corps. An official commendation. For my service. For my training. For my impact. Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class Maya Chen. Your service to the United States Marine Corps and the United States Navy has been exemplary. Your courage, skill, and dedication have saved countless lives. You are a credit to the corpsman community and an inspiration to all who serve. Semper Fidelis. I cried. Because it meant everything. Recognition. Respect. Redemption. I wasn't just a nurse out of place. I was document. A guardian. A protector. A warrior. And I'd earned my place. I continued working at Mercy General Hospital, training combat medics, saving lives, and living my purpose. Because that's who I am. Maya Chen. Document emergency room nurse. Combat medic. Instructor. Guardian. And I wouldn't have it any other way. One night, I was working a shift in the ER when Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross came in. Not as a patient. As a friend. I wanted to tell you something, he said. What? The Navy is creating a new program. Advanced Combat Medical Training. For corpsmen who want to specialize in special operations medicine. And they want you to lead it. Lead it. You'd design the curriculum. Train the instructors. Oversee the program. You'd be shaping the future of combat medicine in the Navy. That's incredible. You've earned it. You're the best combat medic the Navy has ever seen. And we need you. I thought about it. When would I start? 6 months. That gives you time to finish your current training cycle. I smiled. I'm in. Good. Because the Navy needs document. And so do the Marines. I spent the next 6 months preparing. Designing the curriculum. Recruiting instructors. Building the program. And 6 months later, the Advanced Combat Medical Training Program launched. It was a success. Corpsmen from across the Navy applied. The best of the best. And I trained them. Pushed them. Challenged them. Made them better. Because that's what Doc does. Saves lives. Trains warriors. Protects the innocent. And I'll never stop. Because that's who I am. 3 years later, I was still leading the Advanced Combat Medical Training Program. Training the best combat medics in the Navy. Saving lives. Making a difference. But I also kept working at Mercy General Hospital. Because I was both. Doc and Maya Chen. Warrior and healer. And the world needed both. One day, I received a call. From Agent Laura Mendez. FBI. Maya, we have a situation. What kind? Hostage situation. Armed terrorists. Federal building in downtown San Diego. 20 hostages. Including children. And we need someone who can go in. Someone who can provide medical support. Someone who can fight if needed. When? Now. I didn't hesitate. I'm on my way. I arrived at the scene 30 minutes later. FBI tactical teams. SWAT. Negotiators. The federal building was surrounded. Inside, 3 armed terrorists. 20 hostages. High stakes. Agent Mendez briefed me. Here's the situation. 3 terrorists. Armed with automatic weapons. Explosives. They're demanding the release of prisoners. We're negotiating. But we need someone inside. Someone who can provide medical support to the hostages. Someone who can assess the situation. And someone who can act if negotiations fail. You want me to go in? You're the best person for the job. Combat medic. Tactical operator. And you're a nurse. The terrorists will see you as non-threatening. When do I go in? Now. I grabbed my medical kit. No weapons. Just medical supplies. And I went in. The terrorists let me in. They saw me as a nurse. Harmless. Non-threatening. I assessed the hostages. 2 were wounded. Gunshot wounds. I stabilized them. Treated them. Saved them. Then I assessed the terrorists. 3 men. Middle Eastern. Armed. Explosives. Determined. Fanatics. I keyed my hidden radio. This is document. 2 hostages wounded. Stable. 3 terrorists. Armed. Explosives. Suicide vests. High threat. Agent Mendez responded. Copy that, Document standby. We're preparing tactical entry. But I knew. Tactical entry would take time. And the terrorists were getting agitated. Paranoid. They were going to detonate. I had minutes. Maybe seconds. I made a decision. I moved. Fast. Disarmed the first terrorist. Struck him in the throat. He dropped. The second terrorist turned. Raised his weapon. I was faster. Disarmed him. Swept his legs. He fell. The third terrorist reached for the detonator. I tackled him. We fought. Fast. Brutal. He tried to trigger the explosives. I grabbed his hand. Twisted. He screamed. I disarmed him. Secured the detonator. 3 terrorists down. 0 casualties. I keyed my radio. This is document threats neutralized. Hostages secure. Explosives disarmed. The FBI tactical team entered. Secured the scene. Evacuated the hostages. All 20 survived. Because of me. Agent Mendez approached. You just stopped a terrorist attack. Saved 20 hostages. Disarmed 3 terrorists. Alone. That's incredible. I did what needed to be done. You're a hero, Maya. I'm just document. She smiled. No. You're more than that. You're a legend. The story went public. National news. Nurse stops terrorist attack. Saves 20 hostages. I became famous. Interviews. Awards. Recognition. But I didn't want it. I just wanted to do my job. Save lives. Stay invisible. But Lieutenant Commander Ethan Cross had other ideas. He nominated me for the Navy Cross, the second highest military decoration, for valor in combat. The ceremony was held at Naval Base San Diego. Full military honors. The Commandant of the Marine Corps presented the award. Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class Maya Chen. For extraordinary heroism and selfless service. Your courage, skill, and dedication have saved countless lives. You are a credit to the United States Navy, the United States Marine Corps, and the nation. Semper Fidelis. I cried. Because it meant everything. Recognition. Respect. Redemption. I wasn't just a nurse out of place. I was document. A guardian. A protector. A warrior. A hero. And I'd earned my place.